Aisha, hi. Thanks so much for being with me today.
Thank you so much.
I am seeing your work, and I understand you are the Director General of CBAAC. Tell us more about that.
So, the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization is a Pan African agency domiciled in the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, and Creative Economy in Nigeria. It's for the first time Nigeria has a ministry that is dedicated to arts, culture, and creative economy. And our reason for that is obviously the future is green, it's beautiful, and Africans are already creative and culturally inclined. And our heritage is super important to us, so we need to make sure we preserve and propagate that, and that is what our agency does.
I love that. I love that you talk about the future of Africa. Where do you see the future of Africa going?
So I think our strongest power is our humans, our people, our human resources. The way the world is going, we already can see, based on even our population growth and the number of young people we have in Africa, that we will be able to power the world with the people that we have. And I believe the future of Africa is for us to believe and understand that we already have that power, and we just need to empower ourselves to do more and
Right.
take over.
People think about Africa as we're learning more about the continent. Now we
Yes.
have better storytelling. We have events like Gabi. What do you want people to know from your perspective?
Okay, so you talked about events like this. So the entire reason why my agency exists came from an event, which was the Festival of African Arts and Culture, and that was in 1977. And just because of an event, we had infrastructure growth, we had job creations, we had soft diplomacy and international relations, the whole of Africa being in one space. And I believe Gabi and Unstoppable Africa embodies that. To have Africans thinking about their own stories, coming up with their own solutions. And of course, the jobs created on the side when it comes to an event like this is always powerful. But being able to see and hear from people who are making a difference within Africa and the rest of the world, this is an extremely important event. And I'm very happy to be here again.
So, yeah, again, moving forward, what would you like people to know about Africa, those who are still learning
For
about
those
the
who are learning
continent?
about Africa.
Yes.
So we do have a terrible narrative about poverty, corruption, bribery, things like that. But good people do exist. I think we're at a stage in life where bad news moves faster than the good. So we need more people to see the good in Africa, to see that it's not just a continent that is backwards or not moving forward. We have made contributions to the world. Africans built the world. If you look at our history, we actually built the world.
People say that a lot.
Yeah, we did. We did. Our people were taken and we built the world. So even if we didn't do it intentionally, we did it. So how do we now ensure that we build ourselves? How do we become unstoppable? That is the question,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
And we're here because many of us have decided we're not going to let these setbacks get rid of us. We're not going to leave our countries to go to better, greener areas. We want to water our countries, right? We want it to be green. And it takes us being there and pushing and supporting ourselves, regardless of where we are in the world, to ensure that Africa grows.
What do we need to make Africa even more unstoppable moving forward from today?
So we look at a lot of aspects, like when it comes to infrastructure, investment, skills, education. There's so many aspects. I think Africa is such a huge continent. We talk about it in little ways, but there's no sector that cannot thrive in Africa. So the opportunities are there. We need to look more into that, get the better investment into things that in the next 10, 15, 20 years will build the country. We need to ensure that our culture and our creativity, because obviously that's my sector.
Yes.
So it's very important because we see the value in that and we know the amount of jobs that Africans have already created for themselves. So we need that external support and internal support to say, listen, we have to do better for ourselves. We really have to do better for ourselves.
We do.
We need to ensure we have the right education. We need to ensure we have the right movements to inspire and push hope.
Push hope.
Let's
Yeah.
push hope.
So I have one follow-up question when it comes to pushing hope.
Yeah.
Were you born and raised in Nigeria?
Yes.
Have you ever moved out of Nigeria? You say
I did as a child, but it was for a very limited, my entire school, everything is in Nigeria.
nice. So when it comes to pushing hope, it's not just pushing hope like to the external people to
Yes.
help, make Africa good. It's also pushing hope to people who want to stay on the continent
Yes.
but don't see
They don't see
how
the
they can
value.
stay, so then they leave. What would you tell those people, considering that you stayed and you've
Yes.
made it work and now you're giving back? How do you push hope to those people who want to stay but feel like they can't?
I think we need to look at those who are coming to Africa and are not leaving. They are not Africans and they're not leaving. You have diaspora people coming back to Africa and seeing the opportunities that are there. I think, yes, there's a lot of hunger. We do have a lot of poverty, but we need to also look at things from the perspective of what can I add value for, especially for those of us who've had the privilege of experiencing life and traveling the world. What can I bring back home to make a change? What can I do within that space? I grew up in Nigeria. And I saw the gaps in some of these things, and I was able to use photography and film to bridge as many gaps that I could, and support as many people that I could. But if everyone decides that, listen, we're going to commit, we have nowhere else. This is home. There's nowhere else in the world where that you are fully 100% seen as home, except for your home, and that is Africa. So I think if we do decide that we are going to fix things, Africa will be unstoppable.
I love that. So you're saying in order to push hope, we have to be a collective and make that decision
We
first,
do.
because if we were more collective versus individual, it would provide a better understanding of, I guess, hope.
Yes, and I think even as an individual, because when you decide to look for the bad, it will come to you.
Okay.
The more you want, it's selective perception. If
So,
I've already
yes.
decided that things are going to be bad, then all I will see is bad.
Yes.
For some of us, we've decided what are those little things that you can say, you know what, today I have gratitude. I moved through so street without traffic in Lagos, for example, and be happy and say, okay, you know what, because we committed to ensure that we follow the rules on the streets, today was a good day.
Today
That's
was a
win.
good day.
So let's just make every day a good day, in as much as we have all the negatives. And I think we'll see a lot more beauty in where we are and who we have.
Perspective is key. I love
Yes.
that. Thank you so much for being with me, Aisha.
Thank you.